welcome back. Since we're all about all kinds of physical media here, I wanted to look through another magazine. I kind of miss magazines and the way things were when everything wasn't on the internet, and you would still pick up the newest one to flip through. Instead of scrolling on your phone, you would just pick up whatever was sitting near the TV or by the couch and flip through. I thought we would do that together. This is from September 17th of 1998. So it is almost 30 years old. In this issue of Rolling Stone, you can see Katie Holmes, Dawson's Creek was a pretty huge hit at the time. And she was the sweetheart of the nation. I was a pretty big fan of hers as well, but it's been a while since I've looked through this magazine. Let's see what we can find in here. Here is an ad for a new processor with 3D Now technology for your at-home PC. The early browser screens. And an ad for Saturn cars. This was a short-lived company of cars. I actually remember those cars fondly. An ad for Nike with Andre Agassi, the famous tennis player. And the fall premieres for the NBC station. You see Suddenly Susan, Caroline in the City, this new David Spade show, Just Shoot Me, Mad About You, if people remember that, Third Rock from the Sun, and of course Friends and Frasier, staples of the 90s. There's an ad for Marlboro cigarettes with the obligatory surgeon's warning. And there's an ad for the VMAs, the 1998 VMAs, which is, you see some of the people here, like Natalie Imbruglia, Madonna, Will Smith, Shirley Manson. The table of contents for the issues here. An ad for the Third Eye Blind album with Semi-Charmed Life and Graduate. The iconic Got Milk ads, this one, with Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame. And here is info for the ABC shows with Dharma and Greg and the Drew Carey Show. Here are the correspondence, love letters, and advice. citrus flavored vodka. This is a play on the psychic ads that we used to have, but this is for Winston cigarettes. An ad for Visa. And the random notes section of Rolling Stone. You can see the actual Rolling Stones are mentioned here. Many happy returns after they rocked 80,000 Parisians. The Stones threw a secret birthday bash to honor Mick Jagger's 55th. Interesting that they just put a brand new album out as well. He's still going strong at nearly 85. Just some more of that, as well as a Ralph Lauren ad with the flap where you could smell the scent. This has to do with a Marilyn Manson. He has his upcoming album, Mechanical Animals. The World of Rock and Roll, September 12th to 26th. Just famous things that happened in September. On the 16th, Hootie and the Blowfish, VH1, named them Artist of the Month for September. And a Bacardi ad here. Here's a fall music preview with new albums by Joni Mitchell, PJ Harvey, Mariah Carey, Alanis Morissette, D'Angelo, R.I.P. And here is an ad for that Marilyn Manson album here. Looking creepy as usual. An ad here for the BMG music where you could get 12 CDs for the price of one. And another cigarette ad for Parliament Lights. This is JBL's exceptional multifunction system for less than $400. It's a CD player, an AM/FM tuner, and 40 powerful watts that can fill any room with rich, full JBL audio. I kind of miss things like that. Feature on Fuel and their song Shimmer, which is a big hit on radio at the time, and an ad for Everlast's album. A little blurb on Harvey Danger, one of the best best 90s one-hit wonder songs. Although that album was actually pretty great. Another Ralph Lauren ad. This one for chaps. A MasterCard ad. This costs and this costs, but this is priceless campaign that they were running. There's some little small articles on some things. It's fun to just see pictures of people like Brian Setzer and Bare Naked Ladies, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Here's an ad for Propecia with finasteride, which you can get pretty easy these days. When it started, I'm guessing. Here's an ad for Amazon, which is fun. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. U2 from 1987. And have you looked here? Amazon says in 1998. Since you could find anything you wanted on Amazon. Another cigarette ad for Camel. And here is that cover page ad with this beautiful photo of Katie Holmes. This long article. A picture of her senior picture, which says 1997, and here's another picture of her at age 5, looking extremely happy. And there is the core crew from Dawson's Creek. Here's an ad from Microsoft Windows 98, which was a big deal at the time. It was huge news for everybody. It's Carrie Russell. Felicity fame before she cut the hair. And yet another cigarette ad. Looks like they were everywhere. I like these ads for albums that are out. You just don't see a lot of that anymore. Here are the insert cards to get a subscription to Rolling Stone, which is fun that I still have those. And the Columbia House version of the record clubs. Here's an ad for the CBS fall shows with the King of Queens and Everybody Loves Raymond. And the Brian Benben show. I recognize that at all. It must not have lasted long. And LA Doctors. Also unfamiliar. The classic Jack Daniels, which even now still hasn't changed. This is the section on cable TV. That was still a growing and expanding world. People like Bob Odenkirk and David Cross from Mr. Show. And here's a VH1 ad for the Behind the Music. The 1999 Cougar. Imagine yourself in a Mercury. Here's the Emeril Lagasse show that was on Food Network. And Sports Center on ESPN. An ad for Cinemax. Speaking of cable, perfect placement for that inside this article. Good job to the editors. And for Hyundai. And the new Better Than Ezra album. It's another one of those Amazon.com ads on a Bonnie Raitt, so I will not be denied. And Amazon says, boy, are you in the right place? Here's a funny satire from Robert Smigel of SNL fame. Famous writer for them, just talking funnily of what the future will probably bring for TV. By 2011, the TV makes laugh track obsolete by providing its own laughter for sitcoms and some WNBA games. The WNBA was still new at the time, and I know it was a laughingstock. People thinking it would not fail, or would not succeed. But it seems to be doing pretty well these days. And an ad for Shania Twain's new album. Which is funny to me. She has a new album coming out just this week, in just a few days. Here's an article, story on a real life event that happened in Oregon. And an ad for Jim Beam. The always built Ford Tough ads for the new Ranger Super Cab. And this is Bengay Spa with sight penetrating action, pain relief for your active life. I don't seem to remember that version of Bengay. An ad for Lee Denim. And the pink ribbons for the Susan G. Komen breast cancer awareness. whiskey here with George Dickel. And yet another ad to get you to sign up for free music and never pay them. An ad for a Norelco electric razor. And an article on Belgian style and the fashion of the time. These frosted tips are definitely going to stay in style for a number of years, since this is 98. Justin Timberlake probably saw this ad and said, "Me, please." Here's a list of 5 Belgian beers. And a Canadian whiskey at this time that will make you relax like you're in the mountains of Canada. Oh, if you spent your money on all those cigarettes we were advertising, you can then buy this Nicorette gum so you could stop smoking. And here are the album release reviews. And this would be Hole and their album Celebrity Skin, which they gave 4 stars. There were quite a number of hits off of that album. Willie Nelson also released an album. Belle and Sebastian. Snoop Dogg. The Game is to be sold, not to be told. 2 stars. They did not seem to like that one. And here's an ad for BVD, Fit for Men. For over 100 years, BVD has made underwear comfortable and durable enough for men. A Southern Comfort ad. The Local H album. The Pixies, and they're at the BBC album. This college radio, Darling Gomez, I remember at the time. Oh, the gum must not have worked. Get back on the cigarettes. Here's a review of movies that are out. The Thin Red Line and Meet Joe Black, as well as the summer movie report card listing a number of the movies that were out. Here you can get a free CD quality download of the unreleased acoustic version of Creed's hit My Own Prison. Interesting. I bet creednet.com doesn't have that anymore. I had to go buy another magazine, the Us Weekly. And here are the classified ads of the day. Institute psychic hotline so you can find love and happiness. More psychics. Here's how you can get promo cards to sell your music and publish your poetry. And then here are the charts, which the Reader's Top 20 at the time, Beastie Boys, Hello Nasty was #1, and Bare Naked Ladies is #2. The City of Angels soundtrack. See if anything else here stands out to me. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, which was fun. The Counting Crows, Recovering the Satellites, their sophomore record. Fantastic record. The top singles for 1993 were UB40. Tag Team, Whoop, There It Is. So that would have been 5 years prior, and this would have been 10 years prior, which was the Commodores, 3 Times a Lady, and Frankie Valli's Grace. It's always fun that even then nostalgia was important. One last cigarette ad on the back, and the Surefire Ed Pontiac Sunfire. Well, I hope you enjoyed reliving 1998 for a minute with me. I know I really enjoyed that with you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like these types of things, and let me know if you enjoy looking through some of these old magazines of the day, and we can look into some more of those. But I will always still be going through albums and CDs. But thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next dive.